We're still under caution for this crash on the back straightaway at lap 25. CBS has over 90 camera lenses here at Daytona. And looking at replays during the break, we've been able to pick up something we didn't see initially. There does not appear to have been contact between Michael Waltrip and the 17 of Matt Kenseth.
Okay, let's take a look at as they come off of turn 2. We'll move them forward, and you see the white car of Waltrip right there. And, Buddy, as they come off of there,
he's already in trouble there. You can see the back of the car coming around. Matt Kenseth right there. He don't even have time to react as Waltrip goes around. Now they make contact, but there was no contact whatsoever. Look at Hornaday there on the inside. Go through the middle of these cars that they're in trouble.
And Phil Parsons right behind Hornaday. Snuck past. But there was not contact to start that out between Michael Waltrip and Matt Kenseth.
That's a very tricky part of the racetrack, coming off of 2 over there, and it's very easy to get the air taken off of the spoiler and make that back end very light.
And the other part you have to remember is in 31 degrees of banking in the corner, when you pop out on that straightaway on the 6 degrees, you don't see what's happening in front of you. You look up and see all that smoke and you overreact.
One driver change during the caution. Ted Musgrave is now in the number 29 in relief of Curtis Markham. Here's Dick Berggren.
22-year-old Bobby Hamilton Jr., one of the young guns in today's race, thought he was going to have a great day. He started 6th, but his car is behind the wall with a broken spindle. How did it break?
We came in, and as the 37 was coming out, we ran to the side of his door. You know, he's running good. Hate that happened to him, but no, we wasn't good from the very start. You know, the way we sent the body off to get it done the way he done it, it had a terrible push once the tires got old. So, I think we learned a lesson. We started doing stuff in-house now.
Broken spindle means the left front wheel is just sort of flopping around and wobbling, and you can't drive it like that even at 10 miles an hour. To Ralph.
Tony Lambert is a crew chief for Mark Martin. You made a gutsy 2-tire stop. That's how you beat everybody back out of the pits, and now you're running up in the front. Why just 2 tires now while everybody else went for 4?
Well, we think we're handling good enough. If anybody can do it, Mark Martin can. And we're playing our strategy on down the road to where we can get our 4 and 20 laps. We're good on the left sides, and I think the handling is real good. So we need a position right now.
Mike, Joe Nemechek, who is running in second, he did take 4 tires in gas. They did make some air pressure adjustments to those 4 tires. They wanted to tighten him up a little bit.
Now, in this series, they are limited to the number of tires that they can change during caution periods. And they told them in the driver's meeting that it's 3 sets of tires. So Mark Martin really would have an extra set of tires that could come into play on the left side later on in this race.
And let's review the cars involved in the crash. Jeff Purvis, you see Michael Waltrip's car, Andy Santerre, last year's Rookie of the Year, Andy Hillenberg, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Elton Sawyer. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR and the Bud 1 Airship. Proud to provide these spectacular shots of Daytona from about 1,000 feet above the Speedway.
And we're about ready to go green again.
One of the big losers on that round of pit stops was Casey Atwood. He came into the pits running 6th, came out of the pits 26th, pitted a second time, and will be at the rear on the restart. One of the big gainers, number 90, Brad Loney, started 36th. The Iowa driver's up to 7th place. 30 laps complete. We're back under green.
Now, these cars should be able to make it on one more pit stop from here on as far as fuel is concerned.
Ron Hornaday makes a nice move to the inside. Battle up toward the front. There's Hornaday taking a spot away from number 36, Tim Fedewa.
Great start there. You know, a lot of people think that Ron Hornaday is just a good short track driver. He's proven to everyone today I can run anywhere.
Hornaday is the best driver anticipating restarts I've seen since the late Richie Evans.
I think you learned a lot from Dale Earnhardt. He drives for Dale Earnhardt in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Of course, was a champion last year.
Watching out the back of Mark Martin's car, that's Joe Nemechek just behind him.
Look at the front travel there. Very soft on the nose of these cars. You want them down as Kenny Schrader makes a move on the inside as they head towards the tri-oval.
Schrader for 2nd place, and he's got help. Joe Nemechek is out there all alone in the high groove. Randy LaJoie for 3rd. Number 32, Jeff Green, up to 4th place. McLaughlin, number 34, for 5th. And Nemechek is taking the long ride to the back of the lead draft.
Not a lot he can do about it. He'd like to get back in line there, and finally does, I guess. But, boy, that outside line or the inside line just took off on him.
And Brad Loney got by there in the 90 as he went by, running a great race today.
And that explained, Nemechek's car didn't get any slower. It's just a matter of who wasn't lined up with him.
Yes, he had no drafting partner whatsoever, and the fact that they had brand new tires on these cars let them stay right down the bottom of the racetrack.
Look at this, Mike. We talked about Ford being good as the racetrack gets slick. He's moved all the way up there. He made a run on the inside by himself. That car might be good, but it's not good enough without help.
Well, and you wonder about that two-tire change, how much that might have hurt Mark Martin here, too. And,
well, he was looking for track position right now to get up with those front runners and maybe get away from some of the cars that are moving around on the racetrack a little too much.
He's right behind Brad Loney, the Iowa Sprint Car racer, making only his 10th Busch Grand National start. I believe it's his second trip to Daytona for Loney. He's up there in that lead pack. Now, a little further back, there's a lot of position swapping going on here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up to 16th after starting this race in the back.
Well, Kenseth got very close there in the 17 cars. He came off with turn 4. A lot of them getting very close, but some contact made. There he is. He's the yellow car right there.
Just watching Joe Nemechek, I mean, he moved all the way up to second place, but that car is not up to full song as it was before he made his pit stop. He might have adjusted and not got his car just exactly like he wanted.
And he's drifted into this second pack of cars. Well, Nemechek has dropped back just a little bit. Dick Berger?
Part of Nemechek's problem for sure this year is that there is a new set of rules for both shock absorbers and springs. Last year, he won this race with very soft shock absorbers, very soft springs that tucked the spoiler down out of the air. His crew wondered how he could even hang on to it. The new rules wouldn't let him run that setup, and they've been searching ever since they came to Daytona for something that would work as well as it did in 1998. They haven't found it yet. To Ralph.
Dick, Kenny Schrader thinks he found it for qualifying. The rule says 360 pounds on your spring rate. Doesn't say anything about the length of the spring. So when they came to qualifying, Schrader put a really tall spring in the right rear and a really short spring in the left rear. What that did was it faked the car out, made the car think it was running softer, tucked that rear end down out of the air, all the air flowed over that spoiler. Schrader went fast enough to get on the pole. Pretty creative, don't you think?
There's as much ingenuity in that garage area as you'll find at Cape Canaveral.
I was just picking to say, leave them alone just a little bit, they'll find an answer.
Schrader comes to the line, the leader, 36 laps complete in that number 15 Chevrolet. Right behind him, Randy LaJoie looking for his second win in this race in 3 years. And up to third, Jeff Green. Didn't make the Daytona 500 in Bud Moore's car, but he's having a strong run this afternoon. Mike McLaughlin is fourth. Brad Loney, who came out of sprint cars to star in the ASA, American Speed Association, is fifth. And Mark Martin's Ford is sixth.
Yes, and Jeff Green's making a statement here. You know, he used to drive for Earnhardt a couple of years back and was replaced in the ride. And right now, Jeff Green's proven to the world, hey, I can run with anyone.
A little further back, seventh is Ron Hornaday. Eighth, Joe Nemechek. Ninth is Mike Dillon. And Lyndon Amick, who came out of the Dash Series of NASCAR, is up to 10th. Change at 11th spot. Terry Labonte is moving up. At 12th, Todd Bodine in that backup car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up to 13th after having to start his backup car in the back of the field. There is Earnhardt Jr., left side of your screen, and that number 3, the defending series champion.
Todd Bodine in the car number 66 falls in behind him as a couple of cars draft up. Now that 57 car of Jason Keller, he is 5 laps down.
Well, he was the car early in the show that had the tire rub, and he really lost a lot of track position and everything, waiting to see what was going to happen on that right rear corner.
And we'll have a report there might be a tire rub on the car number 37. That car, of course, driven by Kevin Grubb. We'll keep an eye on that.